Okay, so how is Yu-Gi-Oh! Doing in June 2024? Make sure you guys smash some crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Now, it's been a hot second since we'll talk about cards, we'll talk about, things to pick up, we'll talk about the market, but, overall, just state of the game. So, a little bit over the course of the weekend here, you've been hearing me, screaming at the top of my lungs, why are these casual cards going up in price? Why are people buying Cypher Dragon? Why is the Dark Magician going up in price for the fall? Why are all of these, but Yu-Gi-Oh's in such a terrible state, you have all these pro players quitting out here to go to better games for better price support. So, I will tell you, as of filming this, there are, I believe, 20 plus trading card games that you can choose to play right now. You are not bound to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, to say that, another game is going to feel the same as Yu-Gi-Oh!, no, that's not going to be the case. We all love and treasure this game. And the format is absolutely awful right now. Alright, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm frustrated with Yu-Gi. If I'm going to play the game, I'm going to go play Runic Stun. I'm going to call it a day. I have a couple case tournaments coming up, a couple box tournaments here over the next month and a half, and I'm going to be playing that. So that's where I am mentally with the game. I'm very frustrated talking about the game. Content, views, I can tell that people are frustrated with the game. We're heading on into the biggest events of the year, and it's going to be Snake Eyes, Snake Eyes, Snake Eyes, Snake Eyes. And Konami's going to wonder why their viewership is down. I don't need to tell you this. You know this, alright? If people are looking to the alternatives, and they're looking at all this, the discourse currently is, price support equals bad, why do I want to play this game? I understand, I'm not taking that away from you. I understand the current debate. I'm still sticking around because I enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, it's just, the format's not the most user-friendly. Will we get a ban list eventually to fix things? Yeah. Eventually. That's the problem. It's always eventually. And later today we have the battles openings coming, so, depending on what's in there is going to shape up our national season. So that's another relevant thing to think about out here is, you have Infinite Forbidden about to slam into this. The format's going to go one stage worse. Okay, that's on the format, alright? And I'm sure most of you have heard me say this over and over and over again. I'm regurgitating. Alright, that's what you need to know on the competitive side of the game. Is it horrible? Yes. Will it get better? Yes. Are people upset? Yes. Are things going to get better? Yes. Alright? It's always darkest before dawn. It's how it always is. Alright, we made it through tier format, we made it through cash tier format, we made it through Infinity format, we made it through all these tier 0 formats. We'll be fine. It's just, looking and analyzing this game in the state that it is in is not the best right now. And it's also summer, so, people are looking at this game, they're like, there's way more things to do. Also, on the topic of all these trading card games, I've made a couple of other videos talking about things, I've explored other games, I like off-branding this channel a little bit sometimes to explore other card games, to show you guys, hey, I like doing other things too. This channel still is the MCool40 experience. Okay, so back to the market. Alright, if you notice, you got all these people over here that are exiting left, and also speaking of people exiting left for better price support in other games, didn't all the nationals just have, some of these nationals in these countries just had record numbers? I'm not saying that, you quitting the game to go to another game really is making that much of a difference, but if these events are hitting record numbers, that means you were replaced by 3 other people, hypothetically, which means you quitting the game means nothing because another body just took your spot. Wow, that's a terrible realization of how the real world works. And I'm not going into crazy detail with that, because that's an entire different can of worms. But back on the subject of the market, you have all these people fire selling out of the game. Rarity collections slammed down things. I will say, Yu-Gi-Oh's gotten a lot cheaper. I don't think anybody can argue right now, because back in February, you were spending $1,000 on Snake Eyes. Alright, back here in June now, Wanteds are $35 to $40 a piece. Give or take tax, shipping, variants, what's going on in your basement. It really just depends on what you're able to get. So, you went from $300 a playset down to $125. That's pretty good. Alright, and then, of course, Bonfires is still a little bit expensive. Actually, it's pretty rough out here. Speaking of, prices and things, You know, Age of Overlord boxes are still $160+ a box. All right, and that's crazy for people to think about. Maze of Millennia from earlier in the year still hitting record crazy numbers as well. You know, these sets out here, they're still doing their thing. I mean, okay, Legacy didn't quite live up to its hype. I mean, it's not a Duelist Nexus 2.0. But if Infinite Forbidden crashes on in here at a crazy number and just kind of goes back to, like, it becomes an Age of Overlord themed set. Ugh. Also, Molchummy right now is not looking like it's going to be a relevant card. And the scope of being in every deck. I do want to point out the card's very good, alright? It's just if you think every deck's going to be playing it immediately, I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think a lot of people are going to pick it up, but I think it's going to... We'll have to wait and see. I think you'll have a little bit of a curvature down from wherever the expected high is, and then you will see it, you know, spin up over time. It's also a fantastic time to mention to you that Infinite Forbidden's the next core set. Tenpai Dragons are in there. Once again, the endless cycle of the meta continues. You know, I'm kind of curious to know how this set's going to look. Because if they just Secret Rare everything and turn it all over, it's going to be a mess. It was good for players to have the last set be extremely cheap, shifting around things, a couple Secret Rares. You know, the Yugi deck was decently cheap. Some of those Quarter Centuries have long since exploded. That was a good thing. Also, Quarter Centuries, we got, what, another 4 sets with these bad boys, and then we should be done with the 25th anniversary. Blue Eye Structure decks coming down the pipeline here, which is very, very good, by the way. That Millennium Blue Eyes we got the other night, banger. I'm gonna, once I get some time to sit down, I actually do want to play test the Millennium deck. That's, once again, another where am I at in this. Blue Eyes cards are another thing to keep an eye on. The Blue Eyes alternative Ultimate Dragon has been an interesting discussion point if they'll reprint it because of the Kazuki art. I'm not really sure. They might do an alt art for it. I could see that. Has anything with Kazuki art been printed since his passing? I don't know, actually, to think about. That's something for, I guess, we'll have to wait and see when time passes, if we will see those cards, you know, either get reprinted or possibility of receiving an alt art or quite possibly a replacement version to that. So that's a big thing to think about out here in the collector side of the market. Oh, speaking of the collector's market, so your Starlight market is in the absolute shitter over there. All right, you can buy some of the cheapest Starlights that you want for $25, $30. I'm not gonna lie, I've looked at a couple of those Starlights that I've wanted for collection, and I've considered picking them up at this point. Obviously, it all comes down to collectability and what you as a collector want. A lot of people have said collecting is dead in Yu-Gi-Oh! I strongly disagree. There are some very, very fantastic things that you can pick up, like that normal Black Luster Soldier monster that's not going to receive any sort of reprint. Alright, some of these, you know, the extremely more niche things that are already designed to be collector's items will maintain some sort of collectability along the way. So that's a major thing to think about out here with this is, you know, if you're picking up a casual, you know, Starlight Rare, you think, oh, this is gonna be $10? This will be $150. That's not how that works right now. I'm sorry to tell you that. Starlight Market's in shambles because Quarter Centuries did what they needed to do. They redistributed the market value, and they gave Konami the chance to slam the secondary market. And Konami doesn't want, you know, the secondary market to be crazy, but Konami needs to understand that, you know, stores need to have good product so they can stay open. And see, this is still the duality of things, even in June 2024. LGS needs to sell product to be profitable. If they're selling product at a cost or a loss, then they're not paying their bills, which means you're not going to have locals anymore. And people are over here going, I'm having locals, you know, they closed down. I don't know why. No shit! They closed down. Because nobody wants to buy the shitty Yu-Gi-Oh! Product that's on the shelves right now. Your locals is trying to sell it to get back, you know, a loss of $15 a box just to get that capital back. And you're over here like, I'm not going to buy from them. Yeah. And, of course, there's still plenty. I've heard more LGSs going out every single month and more people not wanting to support Yu-Gi-Oh! Than I've heard in a while. All right, it's starting to snowball. So, A little bit of negativity in here, but overall, current state of the game, dog shit. Market, I mean, the market's doing what the market does. It's going pretty well, actually. Sealed, kind of floating around in a very interesting place. And my own personal love-hate with the game, yeah, I love it, hate it. It is what it is. So that's overall current state of the game. Whew, a lot. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.